Blade movie is happening. Just kidding. It's not happening. That's why. That's what Marvel kept saying, and I just did it to you. It's not happening. Looks like it's indefinite hold now. Is the way it's looking, and I don't think we're getting a Blade movie anytime soon. Superman. There's that whole copyright thing that was going down, and we'll discuss that. See if that has changed at all. Thunderbolts is right around the corner. We're going to be checking that out. Reviews have been out so far. First reactions. There's a Spider-Man casting call. Check that out. Some comic books that are dropping. So it's going to be a good conversation on Capes and Cows today. So I'm glad that you can be here with us, myself, Winston, and Coy. So let's get into it. It's the Kristian Harloff Show, Capes and Cows, baby. Back, ladies and gentlemen, to Capes and Cows Show Friday, and we always have a nice discussion here about everything in the world of comic book movies. Myself, Kristian Harloff, Coy Gendreau, Winston A. Marshall. The gang is back in town. What's up, guys? How you doing? Hanging? Good.
Yeah, I mean,
Winston's mustache. I
was going to say, I'm doing the greatest Leslie Marshall impression. It's my dad. You know, he all 90s rock this thing. So
it's 90s, dude. That looks like 70s showing up to some set that nobody else is allowed on.
Maybe early 80s if you're a cop, but I don't think that means the 90s.
You got to think about it. All the black dads in the 90s from all the shows, man. Sister, Fresh Prince, everybody was rocking this, you know?
That's good. You know who's not going to be rocking that is Blade. Because you're not going to there's nothing Blade's going to be doing. We're going to get into this topic in just a second because we've been discussing this Blade thing since it got announced in 2019. But before we do, let you guys know, you guys won last week without me. And I saw that. It was a good one. It was Roca and Mike had it. Looked like it was locked in. You guys came back and won the week. Well, you got a chance to do it again because right now Roxy holds the top spot, I believe, at 83.
Oh, that's very doable. I feel good about this.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. You're at 8 currently already. We just started. And don't open those stories, Winston, because the light brushes out your wonderful thing.
All good.
Okay, here we go. It is Blade. And it ain't happening, at least not anytime soon. It's now said to be on indefinite hold as Flying Lotus reveals he was set to write music for the reboot. Another disappointing update for Daywalker fans here as Marvel Studios' long-awaited Blade seems to be back on indefinite hold, with Flying Lotus revealing that he was on board to write the music. From Mark Cassidy, though Blade was removed from Marvel Studios' slate late last year, we had heard that the movie was simply delayed and would eventually move forward. Unfortunately, this no longer seems to be the case. Despite recent reports, the MCU reboot was still on track to commence production in the UK at some point later this year. Insider Daniel Rickman claims to have confirmed that Blade has been put on indefinite hold. Backing up this claim is recording artist DJ Flying Lotus, aka Steven Ellison, who has taken to X to reveal that he had signed on to write the music for the project before things fell through. And he does not sound optimistic about that film getting back on track. Last we heard, the latest draft by Eric Pearson, who is the 6th writer to have been assigned to the project after Michael Green, Stacey O.C. Kaffour, Michael Starbury, Bo DeMeo, Nick Pazzolatto, had finally satisfied everyone involved, but clearly not the case. Apparently, the reason that Blade was pushed back again is because Marvel is prioritizing the multiversal stories in the build-up to Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, so it might not be a case of the studio struggling to get Blade right, as simply bad timing for Mahershala Ali's Daywalker to make his MCU debut. We've also heard that the positive response to Wesley Snipes' appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine had led to the studio planning to make the reboot a multiverse story that could feature both takes on the Daywalker. This might all be moot now anyway, but hopefully Marvel will come back to the movie after Secret Wars. Delroy Lindo was talking about the role he would have played before parting ways with the film during a recent interview with EW. He said, when Marvel came to me, they seemed to be really interested in my input. And in the various conversations I had with the producers, the writer, the director at the time, it was all leading into being very inclusive. It was really exciting conceptually, but it was also exciting in terms of the character was going to form. And then, for whatever reason, just went off the rails. There was a Marcus Garvey-esque component to who this man was shaping up to be. I'm not saying that would have been an out-and-out Garveyite, not that, just in terms of how this man's philosophy, his ethos, and what was driving him. He was a character who had, very similar to Sinners, created a community, a Black community. He was a character who was the head of this community. Jan Dimanche, who stepped in to replace Wissam Tariq, previously confirmed that the movie, or at least the version he was attached to, was going to be rated R. He said, I'm excited to show a kind of ruthlessness, a roughness. He allows him to walk the earth in a particular way, and I love him for that. He's got a dignity, integrity, but there is a ferocity there that he usually keeps at the surface. I want to unleash that and put it all on the screen. Well, doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do that. So, you know, I think we start, Winston, with you, man. And when you hear this, obviously disappointment hits because everybody wanted to see Mahershala Ali do this. He's not going to do it. We've been saying that for a year now, that none of us thought Mahershala Ali was going to wind up doing this. Is there a world that Blade happens soon, you know, outside of once they wrap Avengers? And is there a world that Mahershala Ali shows up, or is this pretty much it? They're going to recast, or they're not going to see Blade for a long time?
We're looking at a recast, which sucks. I hope that they still find a way to include Mahershala if they haven't already figured out a Beyonder. I feel like he could actually be a really interesting Beyonder, to be honest with you. The Beyonder can be a little eccentric at times, but there are some very serious moments with him. So I think that would be a good role for him to potentially slip into. But I don't think this is going to be happening for a while, until we start talking Doctor Strange 3, until we start talking other Midnight Suns type situation. I think that this is fully on a back burner. We've already talked about it. The main cash cow is going to be the X-Men. So once you kind of deal with what we're in the middle of right now and get through the end of Doomsday and Secret Wars and all that kind of stuff, that's where they're going to look, as they should. But this sucks. This really, really sucks. And I think the main thing we need to look at is Wesley Snipes actually some sort of voodoo master? Because he said there's only ever going to be one Blade. Ain't going to be no other Blade. Yeah. And he wasn't lying, bro.
Boy, what do you make of this story?
I echo a lot of what Winston's saying here. I think X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to be a huge focus. I think they're going to make a lot more streamlined choices going forward. The good news is Blade is a very streamlined choice. It's a very, this can be a narrative. And the other good news is they're focusing on darker things. Like, things feel like they're turning more adult overall. So I could see a Blade, but I don't see it being first wave out the gate post Secret Wars necessarily. And I don't see it happening anywhere between then. But the good news is, for me, as someone that hates early announcements, they haven't announced a lot of stuff post Secret Wars. And I think that's good. I think that's healthy. I think announcing this in 2019, it is 6 years later. I hope this is one of the last casualties of that phase of announcing phases. I don't think they should focus on 10 years out publicly. I think they should focus on 10 years out privately and focus on the year or two ahead of them publicly. And until Blade is filming and until Blade is actually going forward, please don't tell me about him again, because I'm sad.
Well, they also don't have that kind of power that they did back in the day when they could do that stuff, right? And the excitement that was attached to it beforehand, where you wanted to hear the slate of 5-10 years because they had earned it. You're like, okay, well, you guys just knocked it. That's good. That plays into that. Okay, great. What do you have lined up for the next 4 or 5 years? And then they tell you, like, okay, good. You've delivered on that. Right now, they haven't been able to do that. So they're rightfully focusing on, okay, we got to get these Avengers movies right, because the first thing that everybody's concerned of is, like, as everyone's been saying, there's no real big buildup to this yet. What are they going to do? And I think that what's funny about that is because of what I just said, where we're so used to Marvel giving us movie after movie that leads up, that we forget that most movies, if they're going to do a trilogy or even 2 movies, they set up all the things and all the cast of characters and whatever the drama, the inciting incident and all that in the first movie. So whatever that might be for, Doomsday, you've got to get us to a place that we're so excited that we want to see Secret Wars. Now, if they accomplish that, if they make that happen, that's what they need to do to get the money in the bank. After that, the focus is going to be the X-Men. We all know it. The X-Men is going to be the main focus. Within that, if they get back on track and they start making some money again, and you can put, like, look at what they're doing with some of these movies. Look at the Sean Levy Star Wars movie, which is going on a lower budget now, right? Go on a lower budget, make a Blade movie. it's unfortunate. Mahershala Ali is not going to be in this movie. There's no world where he's going. Well, there's no world he's going to be Blade. I just don't think that that's going to happen. What I do think that could happen and should happen, as Winston said, we said this a long time ago. They should say, "Hey, we know we dropped the ball on this. We understand who you want. You want to play Magneto? You want to play this person? You want to play this person? Who you want? You got it. We want you. We want you in the family. We dropped the ball. Who you want?" And I think that that's what they should do. Go ahead, Clay.
What I'm curious about is all the groundwork they've laid, what actually sticks around post Secret Wars. Because a lot of the stuff that set groundwork up feels like that's the stuff that's been delayed. Like this year, we've got those 9 properties, including Ironheart, including Marvel Zombies.
Right.
That's all like the horror occult side. I felt like they were driving towards with even Werewolf by Night. But after Secret Wars, does that pay off? I mean, I feel like Ironheart sets up Doom really well with magic and technology merging and all those things. But all of this groundwork, I don't know if that's going to feel like it's a precedent after Secret Wars. So I'm really curious what counts.
Go ahead, Winston. You were going to say something?
No, I mean, I'm on the same page with Coy of where that kind of fits in. And you don't even forget, we also have Wonder Man. So like he's also trying to figure out where that's going to kind of click in a little bit. I think the smart move for the integrity and in the same way that how much disrespect have we had for Star Wars recently because of the constant making promises and them not coming to fruition.
Right.
And then let alone you do that and then stuff you put out doesn't hit. So I think the smarter thing to do, you've made the announcement, you got to kind of sit with that L and just focus on what is currently working. I mean, things I've heard about Thunderbolts sounds like it's great. You're trying to get started on, obviously Doomsday and whatnot, and how even the chairs was good. Like it seemed like bad press, but it was great press. So like focus on what's working. And this is just going to be a weird blip this week. And then no one's going to be thinking about it. Sadly, it'll be in the back of my mind. I'm going to be very sad about it, but people will move on.
Yeah. I also think the chairs prove that Marvel has a lot of clout still, but they really need, like Thunderbolts being, we hear amazing. I haven't seen it yet, but like that's going to be such a big victory lap moment. We need to keep that momentum up. We've talked all last year about like, if Cap doesn't work, we need the 1-2 punch of Thunderbolts going into Fantastic Four. What does it look like to have this momentum, and how do you keep that going into Avengers and things if you're going to have these properties that aren't on the next docket? Like, I would hold off on announcing much until 2026 for post Secret Wars.
I agree, and I think that that's probably what they do. Blade will eventually show up. Could be 2 years from now. Could be 10 years from now. He'll show up as long as Marvel's still making movies. Eventually, he'll show up. It just won't be Mahershala Ali. What do you guys think? You think them? Who knows? You guys are wrong. They're going to figure this out. Mahershala Ali is going to be in this movie. They're going to make it happen, or is it a done deal? You can comment here and let us know. You can comment if you're watching live. You can comment on the replay. You can also comment on the Clips channel. I hope that everybody has gone. I've noticed we've got a whole bunch of new subscribers on that Clips channel. You just go in your search bar, go to Kristian Harloff Clips, and subscribe there. And why would I do that? I watch the show 3 days a week. Yeah, but on those other 2 days, you don't. You can clip it out. You can watch the clips that you missed, and you can watch it that way in case you can't have to catch up. So there you go. Coy and Winston were both mentioning the Thunderbolts. I don't know. Coy, when are you going to see the Thunderbolts?
Monday.
Me too. Winston, same? Or you know
I will, just because of stuff I got going on, I'm going to have to just figure it out on the Thursday preview because it's going to be a crazy weekend.
All right. Well, I'm going to see it on Monday as well. And then we will I think we'll probably just do our spoiler thoughts on Friday the following when we see it. We'll probably do go ahead, Coy. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I feel like by the time Winston has seen it Thursday, the most of the world will have, and then people can just wait till, like, if you guys don't see it Friday, watch our show Saturday. I feel like that's the time to do our spoiler.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and we'll have some stuff, and we'll do the same thing where if people haven't seen it yet, they can always skip that portion of the show, whatever. But we'll figure that out. It's getting great reviews. People are digging it so far, and it's not just the influencers. It seems like it's just people. It's not just every influencer loves everything. So
the main through line that I've heard that has me excited is the idea that they attacked it like a movie and not like trying to do the MCU whatever. So it sounds like the whole the whole of the first 2 acts is really grounded and focused on real issues, and then it gets to the fantastical, which I think that's exactly what we need to do.
That's what we need to do. But here is this is something interesting, that because there's tons of articles in Comic Book Movie about Thunderbolts, but like 95% of them are like spoiler heavy stuff, and I don't want to get into that. But this is interesting, and I think Coy, I don't know if you saw this article. Thunderbolts director reveals that earlier versions of the movie was kind of like a Die Hard thing. And Coy's a big Lethal Weapon guy.
Really?
That's
awesome.
He's not a Die Hard guy.
I'm on the other side of the fence.
The other side of it. We actually had a debate yesterday, Coy, who would win in a death fight, Martin Riggs or John McClane. And both Mike and I both took Riggs.
Yeah, love to hear it.
Yeah, we both love Die Hard. There's just no world where John McClane can beat Riggs. Thunderbolts. He said in a new interview, Jack Schreier reveals that Marvel Studios originally had a very different idea for the anti-hero. Those specific plot details for Thunderbolts are still under wraps. The trailers have given a pretty good idea of what to expect from the basic premise. Group of misfit anti-heroes join forces after initially being set against each other and decide their best to put a powerful new threat known as the Void. We all know that these 6 characters first encounter each other in a vault of some sort, and it sounds like we're originally going to spend a lot more time in this location. While speaking to Games Radar, Jake Schreier revealed that an earlier draft of the script would have played out differently to the movie that's set to hit this week. And he said that Eric Pearson came up with it. Brian Chapek, I think one of the original versions, like a Die Hard thing, was going to take place in this one vault, getting out of it, which would be very cool. So I think the DNA of the film was always a bit more contained. I'm hesitant to dive too deep in this because I don't want to really learn anything about the movie at all.
You're so close, man.
Yeah, like literally right there. But I'm excited for this one. But this is big. This is how I still feel the same way that what I've been saying recently. I think out of this year's Marvel releases, quality wise, this is going to be the best one. I think quality wise, as far as overall movie, it will not be the one that makes the most money. And I fear that people don't know what the hell it is. I feel like it's going to have either a okay opening, just okay opening, or decent opening, or disappointing opening. I don't think we're going to get one of those cross your fingers, wow, this thing crushed, like a Minecraft, So, Winston, do you think that this movie could? Well, I didn't even ask you. I don't think I've asked you. What do you think this movie is going to open of this weekend or next week when it comes out?
See, the problem is Sinners is still here. So, and I think Sinners will still be doing gangbusters, honestly. So if I had to guess, maybe like 85, 90.
Yeah, that's where I'm landing too. Coy, what about yourself?
I'm going to go 75, 80, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say a less than 60% drop weekend 2. I think the legs are going to be what makes this movie. I think it's going to be word of mouth through the week that I think it's only going to drop like 20 million. I think this movie is going to do really well long-term, but it's all going to like the optics are going to be tricky because it's going to be better for clickbait sites to go Marvel fails again. And then people might read that and think the movie's bad. But if the word of mouth is louder than the articles, then we'll get it having legs. I think it's going to be a matter of public perception of what Marvel is versus what a movie is. Like you even see with the Sinners press, like them being like, only 60 million when it's an original IP that is making all sorts of waves. It behooves garbage to espouse garbage. So I think it's going to be a problem optically. But I think when enough people love it and if the right people shout it, if it's good, that's what's going to make a difference. And I hear it's amazing. Yeah,
I hear it's amazing as well. I don't think Sinners is going to have anything to do with this, Winston, by the time this comes, as far as because by the time this comes out, this movie comes out in 2 weeks, and opening weekend for Sinners was like 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
Last week was 60. This week will probably be for them another, maybe it does another 20. So even if it taps on and it does another.
I mean, the only thing though, and then this is why I'm saying I think Sinners will still take a bite out of it. It's just from the standpoint. Damn, I didn't even mean to do. Oh God, I am fully in dad mode.
Yeah.
Holy crap! That was a dad joke if I've ever done one.
Take a nice
my God,
blood right out.
I have unlocked my superpower, I guess. But I think it's because look at what it's done in the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, where we're still pulling like 7, 8, and like 9 respectively on those days. Like I think that Sinners has kind of crazy legs, especially because people are not only just from the community standpoint of people really being into it, but there's so much to unravel there that people are trying to go a second, a third time to go see it in 70 if it's in your city that way. I get what you're saying, because by then we will have been on week 3.
And the summer movie,
Sinners.
and the summer movie season starts. So those people who are either going to see it again or whatever it might be, I think it'll still do good money for what it's doing in this third week, but I don't think it's going to be enough that's going to damage the opening weekend of Thunderbolts.
I just think that this has the ability to be what like Sinners does. It's not going to hit 1 billion. It's not even going to get close, I don't think. But I think it can have the kind of fervor.
Sinners or Thunderbolts?
Sinners, yeah. No, the Sinners will not come close to 1 billion, but I think it will have the kind of fervor and the legs to still maybe get to 450 or 5. And from it's a long shot, because you got to go international really to do that. But I think enough people will continue to go. It will have the kind of cultural impact at the movies the way Oppenheimer and Barbie did. That's the only thing that I'm saying might take a little edge off of Thunderbolts.
It's a great movie, and I wonder what's going to happen with it. But turning it back to Thunderbolts, though, Coy, if the movie, as you said, let's say it does 75, 80, and then it has a decent drop off week 2, and it does okay overall. It's more important, though, I think, for Marvel that it's a good movie than it is crushing at box office, because you can have this movie do just okay and break even, or even lose $15-20 million, really. And if it's a great movie, it's critically acclaimed, and it's pushing people towards the next movie. To me, that's a win. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
I mean, they've been literally describing it as an A24-esque film, and I think that's smart because it is a smaller budget. It does need to make less money, but so much of movies are now decided in the court of public opinion. Like, I know far too many people that don't make their own decisions. They go like, what do people think? And then I'm going to go or not. So if people like, I personally spend my own 2 hours my way, but I think it's going to be decided by whether or not the optics around it. Like, so many people watch YouTube videos of people like us and make their decisions that I think it's going to be required to make a certain amount of money just for the headlines and be good. But I agree, this movie uniquely has a quality thing from the feel of it that is going to carry Marvel in a really unique way. Like, I haven't felt this excited for a Marvel movie probably since No Way Home, and that's been a few years. So the buzz, I think, is going to help, but it's going to really need people, if it's as good as I think it will be, to be lobbying for it. And I hope it's that great.
Go ahead, Winston.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I mean, I told y'all kept asking me which of the superhero movies am I most excited about. I said Thunderbolts, then Superman, then Fantastic Four. And based off of what they're saying this movie is playing like, I mean, I might be onto something. We'll see. Quality-wise,
we'll see. Yeah. Superman's still my number one as far as comic book movies in general. But this movie, like if you said to me, I know most people don't feel this way, but if you said to me, you can only go see Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four, I'm picking Thunderbolts. I think we're gonna get the better film out of the two of them. But I don't know. I liked that last trailer more so than I think you did, Coy, the Fantastic Four.
I thought 2 of the 4 actors were perfect.
I also think you're both lunatics. I saw the show. That Daredevil finale was incredible, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Oh, I loved it.
He liked it. It was me.
Then you're a lunatic,
which is fine. I said it was a good episode and I liked it. I just said that for me, I didn't think that it did not feel like a proper season finale for me. It felt like a winter finale. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, we'll be right back. And that's my problem, knowing that it's not coming in 2 or 3 months.
Oh, right. But it's coming back.
I literally watched Hacks that night, Winston, and season 1 ended on a cliffhanger way bigger. And then we waited a year. That's TV.
That's TV.
Not always though. You like y'all acted like real, not like that. Not that literally felt like we'll see you next week. Yeah, I literally said the same. He really watched the episode. I'm impressed. The fact that we got back to that.
All right, listen. We have more to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. And I asked you guys about Thunderbolts. What do you think? You think this movie's going to do good? Is it going to do bad? Are you excited for it? Are you going to see it in the theater? And the other question we didn't really get to, are more people going to wait for this one to hit streaming? And is it going to really find its legs there? Put your thoughts in there. Let me know. And as I've been telling you all week, I'm so excited for you guys to hear about Stitch Fix. I've been telling you about them. You've been hopefully been checking them out because I give you guys the deals. And I'm gonna give you another one here. Here's Stitch Fix. All right, let's talk about Stitch Fix. I know shopping's hard. I know it is. I found a much better way to do it though. Stitch Fix, online personal styling, and makes it so easy. I'm not a shopping person. It doesn't matter. Even if I can figure out my size, stores never seem to really have what I need in stock. And I'm not a crowds person. I'm not a lines person. I don't have the time for it. Stitch Fix, it gets you a stylist who understands your style, understands the size, gets the budget. They do all the shopping for you. So I just give my stylist the one that I have right now. I give them the size, I give them the style, I give them the budget preferences. I order boxes when I want, how I want, no subscription required. And he just sends me for pieces, pluses, outfit recommendations, styling tips. It's awesome. I keep what works and then I send back the rest. It's very easy. There's no stores, there's no crowds, there's no stress. Just personalized looks that you're going to love. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. And it looks like you know what you're doing, too. If you're walking around, you go, hey, look at you. You're in style. I said, I know, right? And then I give Stitch Fix some props. Anyway, make style easy. Get started today at stitchfix.com/KHS. One more time, stitchfix.com/KHS.
Should have gone for the head.
Mistake. Just use the woman. And then you say, oh, and then, oh, how did that just happen? Oh, Steph disappeared again. Thanos snapped her away. Stitch Fix. Go check out Stitch Fix. I've been telling you, the link's in the description. You will like it.
What the hell was that?
Happened the other day, dude. I was we were talking to I was in the middle of a conversation with Steph, and she just disappeared. Right. And it was really bizarre. But we have more to discuss. You guys currently, as you're trying to catch Roxy, you guys are currently at 16. Not too shabby. Not too shabby.
All right.
Not too shabby.
That's
16
of the way there.
Yeah, you need to get 82 or 83. I can't remember. Luke will tell me in a second. But we have more stories to tell. And another story that we've been doing, I feel like it's kind of like just talk about cliffhangers. We had a cliffhanger of that Blade story, which not a great season finale, it seems like. And now we have another update on the story we've been talking about forever. And that's this Superman story. The judge, he rules on a co-creator's bid to reclaim the foreign copyrights. Will the reboot release without issue? What a teaser by Comic Book Movie. Mark Cassidy, as promotion for James Gunn's Superman continues to heat up ahead of the DCU reboot summer release, studio recently ran into a potentially major setback. Now we got an update. Back in January, we learned that Warner Brothers and James Gunn's Superman may have run into a potentially major roadblock on its journey to the big screen when Mark Peary, the nephew of the late Superman co-creator Joe Shuster, filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery DC Studios DC Comics. Peary claimed that the studio lacks the rights to release the DCU reboot in a handful of key territories, including Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia. The matter has to do with foreign copyrights to the original Superman character and the story, though Siegel and Shuster assigned worldwide rights to DC's predecessor in 1938. The copyright laws of countries with the British legal tradition contain provisions automatically terminating such assignments 25 years after an author's death, vesting in the Shuster estate the co-author's undivided copyright interest in such countries. The studio noted that the courts have repeatedly rejected Perry's claims, finding that his mother, Jean Peavy, signed away all the rights to the Superman character after Shuster's death in 1992. However, the estate's lawyer, Mark Toberoff, argued that in the overseas territories, copyright assignments automatically terminate 25 years after the author's death. Had the suit been successful, it could have interfered with the movie's release this July, but it doesn't look like this is going to be an issue. Following Warner Brothers filing a motion to dismiss in March, Bloomberg is reporting that a federal judge has rejected the estate's bid to reclaim the foreign copyrights, citing lack of jurisdiction over the case. Superman's overseas rollout was probably never in any real danger of being impacted, but it's nice to have confirmation that release will go ahead without issues. Okay. You know, I still haven't watched that behind the scenes footage. And I think because I missed it that day and I was going to, you guys were covering, I don't think you guys covered it on the show. I'm not sure. Did you?
Oh, we discussed it. We didn't like show it or anything. We talked about it.
Okay. But I haven't seen it yet, but I'm getting more hyped for it every little piece that comes out. And this is something I think we all kind of knew was coming. It was going to be tough for them to beat Warner Brothers inside of this type of thing, and they didn't really have much of a case you ask me. But Coy, obviously, I think that you're going to be torn on this one.
I'm so distraught at the thing happening that we all knew was going to happen. I think my cousin's nephew's dog walker owes me some money. It's tricky because I'm team like a creator should always have more rights than they seem to, but these weren't the creators; they were related to, and the problem becomes when it's like the fifth or sixth time in
someone trying to make a buck.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate when in the 40s they weren't credited, or late 30s, early 40s, like there was not credit given to a level that could have been, like with Batman and Superman and lots of characters that era. But this isn't that era, and these aren't those people. So it's I don't want to seem unsympathetic, but at the same time, it doesn't seem fair to raise a stink every movie looking for pennies on the dollar from a thing that wasn't yours and isn't yours. So I think that they've been working on making the credit more proper. We've seen in the last 10 years, Bill Finger get more credit on Batman. I think that we've done, justice to a legacy, but at the same time, if this is every movie, there's got to be a point where it's just not the courtroom's time to waste.
What do you think, Winston? What do you make of the same type of thing?
I mean, I think that Coy kind of hit the nail on the head, and I think the main thing to look at here is there disrespect being thrown at the legacy of the creators. It doesn't sound like that's the case. It sounds like I would love to know more about this nephew that's trying to do this, but it sounds like he's like, I have a way to go get money.
Yeah,
that's ultimately what this sounds like. I haven't heard anything about this is how Warner Brothers has disrespected their legacy or put in my family's face or try to tear the character down. As this has come out, this just feels like I want Superman money because someone related to did some shit.
100, dude. It seems like a bunch of people were sitting around drinking wine, and this guy goes, "You know what I was doing the other day?" It's like, "What were you doing?" "I was going through the contract." "Superman, why are we doing that?" "I was bored. I'm a lawyer." "Oh yeah." And we might be able to sue Warner Brothers. Really? How? Well, they say that after 25 years, if someone dies, we can do it. It doesn't really cover it. There is kind of like some red tape here, so we could just be a bunch of dicks and sue them and see what we get, and say like, "Hey, you're not doing us proud here. This, you guys went over here and you did that, but this doesn't actually cover here, and you're manipulating." And really, we'll just sue the shit out of them, throw our fingers in the air, cross our fingers, and see what we can get. And I feel like that's what happened. Fuck it, let's do it. And that's what they did, and it didn't work out.
That's 1,000% what this feels like, and it's kind of infuriating because there are actual people that have had like I think of so many musicians where they don't know any better. They know better now, but like they don't know any better. And then like obviously they get the record deal, which means they get an advance, but then their masters are owned by those labels forever, and they're not making any money off of their artistry and no deal to kind of set it up where they can try and get something back. It's not what's going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this genuinely just feels like an asshole being an asshole.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So apparently it happens all the time. So I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys make of all this? Do you think that they were slighted, or the judge should have ruled in their favor, or is like, no, it seems like what we're saying here. I know that nobody really wants to have a root for the studios or say, hey, the studios won this one. All right. But it's like, it feels like they should have won this one. Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. We appreciate it. Before we move on, I got to tell you guys a story because I know you get a kick out of little Maisie. My little one is pretty much like Joe Pesci. I've told this. I was driving her gymnastics class last week, and it was right. It was like the day before Easter. So we're driving by this place, and I don't know if it wasn't a church, but it was somewhere they were celebrating for Easter. And they had a guy dressed. It was like 87 degrees out, by the way.
Okay. And
there was a guy dressed in a Roman soldier outfit, like just standing there, like in the blazing sun. And I go to my 7-year-old, "Macy, look at that." I'm thinking, 7-year-old's going to see a guy in costume because it was a pretty elaborate costume. And Macy, take a look at that. She goes, "That guy's a lunatic." And I go, "Why is he a lunatic?" And she goes, "You know how hot it is right now? What's that guy doing standing out there? He's a lunatic." And then she goes, "And he's not getting paid enough." And I was like, that was incredible. And then the other thing, we bust each other's chops sometimes, and I'll play around there, and she goes, ah, and I go, your breath stinks, and she goes, you're ugly, and I go, you look just like me. She goes, yeah, but I'm the better looking version.
Mafioso.
She really is,
dude. She is something else, man.
She is. Anyway, little story for you guys, and sometimes people like it. If you don't, stick your head up your ass. All right, next. This is we're sticking with DC, guys, because there's some Green Lantern stuff going on that we have to discuss, and let's do just that. Wait a minute, wrong story. Just kidding. There's a different one. There's a Green Lantern story later. I don't want that one.
I was like, Ryan Reynolds still talking about, I guess. I mean, maybe
he is, but that's not the story I want to cover. Lanterns actor Garrett Dillahunt drops hint that he's playing Green Arrow. James Gunn responds to that. Okay. Mark Cassidy. Yesterday, some images posted by Lanterns actor Garrett Dillahunt sparked speculation that the Deadwood and Last House on the Left Star might be set to play Oliver Queen in the upcoming HBO series. When Dillahunt's casting was announced, he was said to be playing a character named William Macon, who's described as a self-righteous, conspiracy-minded man who masks his ruthlessness ambition behind a charming and calculated facade. It's easy enough to understand why fans might have assumed that he's really playing Ollie. The actor appeared in costume as Green Arrow in some behind-the-scenes photos and storyboard shots, after all, but whatever his reason is for sharing the since-deleted Insta post, doesn't seem like he'll be suiting up as the Emerald Archer in the DCU. When asked if there was any truth to the rumor that Dillahunt might have been cast as Green Arrow on the threads, James Gunn said no. Many fans were quick to point out that Dillahunt is too old to play Oliver Queen, but we didn't think we'd be getting a 59-year-old Hal Jordan, so it wouldn't have been outside the realm of possibility that they also decided to cast older for Hal's longtime frenemy. Dillahunt has now shared the following clarification. He said, no, me, I should be so lucky, but no, it's just a Halloween costume from a few years back. I'm just a nerd. I'm just a nerd, just a fan. Unless they want one-legged conspiracy theory person, old man Ollie, then maybe I'd have a shot, but no intent to rile it up. That's the one. I see. Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't realize that was him. I've actually met him a few times. I watched some UFC fights with him. I forgot that was his name. He was buddies with my friend Naveed, and he's a nice guy. But we are gonna get this character. We are not gonna get it with him. And we're not going to get it in a surprise. Hey, hold on. Don't tell anybody you're playing Green Arrow. Just tell us who Green Arrow is. It's like, they're going to surprise you like that. There's other times they do, but I don't know. You think, am I wrong? Is they going to surprise you at Green Arrow? They're going to tell you when they cast them.
The only reason they would ever do that is if the way you would, I think of like Samuel L. Jackson ended up being Nick Fury at the end. If it's a scenario where this has nothing to do with this story, so you're trying to wait for it to set up something else. Mm-hmm. But if he's going to be in this the whole of the show, then no, you would just tell people ahead of time. That seems silly to do that otherwise.
What do you think, Clay?
I think that it'd be fun if the universe is being set up in a way that you could have that surprise, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I mean, back in the day, we had the post-credit scenes. I think that is not the way to necessarily always have it happen. I think an in-movie surprise would be awesome, but I feel like so early in the universe being set up, it's fun to get press riled up. It's fun to make big announcements. It's fun to get like those kind of things. So maybe down the line, but I wouldn't think Green Arrow, and I wouldn't necessarily think here. I think Garrett Dillahunt's a fantastic actor. He's a delight. I've talked to him a couple times too, but I don't think that is the Green Arrow of starting universe. I don't know what age, I don't know any of that, but Garrett Dillahunt is I think in it. I just don't think he's Ollie. I mean, I think he was just celebrating being on a DC set, and he had dressed like a DC character. And then it's like, oh, right, PR.
And you gotta also realize this too. There are a lot of actors who don't understand the kind of shitstorms that happen when you do things like this. Like, oh, this was fun for me to do. The guy's 60 years old. You think he's paying attention to comic book movie sites and everything too? No, of course he isn't. He's like, oh, and then he gets a phone call. God, you gotta take that down. Everyone thinks you're Green Arrow. Like, oh my God, I didn't know. I was excited. Like, we know you're excited, but it's how this thing goes. It's a circus. But everybody always thinks, oh, he knew what he was doing. He didn't know shit. He didn't know what he was doing.
Denzel barely knew what he was doing. He was like, what I'm saying?
100%. He was seeing that movie in Ryan Coogler's next Black Panther movie, and everybody was like, whoa. Denzel, who's a master at PR, and didn't realize it because he doesn't pay attention to this stuff.
I went to Superman Day, and I'm just like comic correspondent. Like I'm not a big cog in any machine. I'm a guy that does a show, and I wore my Kingdom Come Superman shirt, and 3 different journalists asked me if they were making that, if my shirt was confirmation for Kingdom Come, and I was like, I just like Superman Day. I'm so
Right.
so like it's insane. But everybody's looking for the next thing.
I mean, look at Haley Steinfeld when she was on the carpet, and someone goes, "Are you in the next Avengers?" And she kind of leans over and she nods or whatever, and then some people made a video out of it. Like she looks like she went oops and didn't realize it, and it could have been the case. But she's also really good at what she does. So someone else asked her again. She's like, "Did I see that? I don't even know." So,
Yo, hold on, just a quick pause. I know, Coy, you brought up Haley Steinfeld. Coy, I know you don't mess with football like that, but Kristian, did you hear that apparently the very first scene that Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan shot was the
train scene?
Huh?
The train scene?
No, the backroom scene.
Oh, okay.
And so the running joke has been like, man, no wonder Josh Allen won MVP. He was throwing his heart out there as much as he could.
Oh, like, are they dating?
They're engaged, bro.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So just the whole thing of like seeing, he's like the number of NFL players that are like, I'm not seeing sinners just because Josh Allen is my boy. Like, just
Can I tell you how after hearing that story that I've just gotten very proud of myself? I don't pay attention to celebrities' love lives at all, and I'm so proud of myself because of it.
That's fair.
I don't care.
I don't get involved like that, but I follow Josh Allen.
I don't give a shit.
Well, it's still funny.
I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mustard.
Yes. And at least no one's cursing.
Cock?
No, mustard. Stop that. All right. Anyway, what do you guys think about all of this? Everything we talked about. Green Lantern, DC, all that, more Green Arrow. Who's showing up? Who's not showing up? Who gives a shit? What do you think? We're gonna have some new lighting in the studio. This table is going bye-bye. Brett said, "Hey, tell them about the Amazon list. I need some stuff." I said, "If you guys want to look at the Amazon list, it's in the description. If you don't, it's fine." I didn't say that though. Brett doesn't know. Brett doesn't watch this show, so he won't know that I'm not really pushing it that hard, but it's in the description. He told me, he's like, "Just tell him about the Amazon list. I need some stuff for the studio." So, well, we'll see. Anyway, so this is the next story, and then we're going to get to some questions. So, Coy, we got to do a Spider-Man story for you, man. We got to. And Flash Thompson actor Tony Revolori talks about Agent Venom chances ahead of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Spider-Man No Way Home star Tony Revolori has shared his thoughts on potentially suiting up as anti-hero Agent Venom in next summer's Spider-Man's Brand New Day, admitting that that is the dream to do it. Josh Wilding says during Venom, The Last Dance's final battle, there was a brief mention of a soldier called Thompson who appeared to have his legs bitten off by a rampaging xenomorph. Excuse me. We've heard the plan was for Venom 4 to be Agent Venom movie with a new lead, with the threequels post-credit scene strongly hinting that the symbiote had survived. However, the movie only did so-so numbers at the box office. And then when Kraven the Hunter flopped, what? Sony abandoned its slate of spin-offs, at least for now. Well, not according to me. When Winston and I were talking about it a few weeks ago, apparently it's still going on from 2023. In the comics, Flash Thompson lost his legs while fighting for the U.S. Army in the Middle East. The military bonded him with the Venom symbiote, giving him his legs back in the process, but only for limited amounts of time, lest he risk being permanently bonded to the alien. Tony Revolori plays Flash in the MCU, having previously bullied Peter Parker in his Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home before idolizing the web-slinger and, by extension, Peter in No Way Home. Talking to The Direct about his new movie, Marshmallow, Revolori shared his thoughts on the possibility of potentially becoming Agent Venom in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yeah, look, I've read the comics that everyone's read. I would be really, really effing excited to do something like that. It'd be really cool. I have no idea what or when, or maybe we'll see. Look, the hope is to do it. The dream is to do it. And we'll see if it ever happens. If it doesn't, they're making great shit regardless that I will watch over and over and over again. I'm just happy to have been part of it. Great comment. Great comment indeed. You've done quite a few things with Tony before, right, Coy?
Oh, we're like friends.
Yeah, so and he's pretty much a big comic guy like you?
Dude, he is such a nerd and he's so passionate. Like, he will talk about Spider-Man because of his love of Spider-Man, and he that's such a genuine thing. wants to do stuff, but he also knows there's so many cogs, and he's also very aware that like he's gonna watch it. He likes Spider-Man. So yeah, he challenged me to a movie fight, and then we've been friends ever since. So like a decade ago. The dude is a nerd and he's really passionate about this stuff, but he doesn't know any more than we do yet because everything's cooking.
Yeah, Winston, do you think there's any shot that they do this storyline in the next one, or is it just already too much stuff going on?
I think there's too much going on. I think that there is a world where eventually it happens, in the same way that I think there's a world where we eventually get Ned as Hobgoblin, but I don't think that's the focus right now. I think I think Venom is going to be put on the back burner, potentially, as Coy suggested, maybe Peter getting the black suit during Secret Wars, similar to the comics, and then we re-engage with Venom that way, but we will have to wait and see.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that they should do this with Tony? Do you think that they should do this at all? Or do you think, no, we have too much stuff to focus on in the next Spider-Man? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know what you think. I think the last story we're going to talk about is something that is very comic book related. There's a lot of comic books that they do in this series. I think Coy would agree. And that I hate when they do this. Stop this. Stop it. Stop it. Ah, you fuckers.
Oh,
Doing that. Do that.
why don't you keep your mic and mute the
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I muted it. I figured out how to do it, but I really despise when they do that. Anyway, so this is this new trailer, Badlands, that just came out. Did you guys both see the trailer?
I did
I
not.
skipped it because I know I'm watching it.
So let's bring this up first. The director reveals new details as Ella Fanning's character Alien Connection is confirmed. 20th Century Studios debuted the first trailer for the next live-action movie in the Predator franchise, Badlands, earlier this week, and director Dan Trachtenberg, who also helmed Prey, has now shared some new details. Said the filmmaker confirms that the Badlands will at least partially take place on the Predator's home planet. Okay. One of the things about the movie, there's some stuff from the extended universe. We decided to treat it like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. I mean, I don't even want to go too much into this because I want to spoil it for the guys. But so it's funny. This goes to show you, as far as creators getting more of a benefit of the doubt than the actual trailer that they put out, right? Because I saw the trailer itself and I thought that the trailer was fine.
Okay.
I really did not like the look of the new Predator, the main Predator that is in the
I've
movie.
seen at least images of that, and that looked weird to me.
It looked like someone at a Halloween party. It looked like the costume that Mark Ellis makes fun of me all the time that I bought for Schmoes and that I wore out. It doesn't look good. It looks like a regular dude wearing a Predator hat. And that could change because, like I said, Dan Trachtenberg, from his comments and from Prey, he gets what Predator is. He understands it more so than anybody that has come since, I think, McTiernan. He really does understand it, how it is supposed to be smaller, how he understands the world, the lore. He wants to play into the lore. So that's why it's like benefit of the doubt. But the trailer itself, and Elle Fanning looked good, but I'm looking, going, I don't know if I can get on board with this main character. This kind of looks goofy, but maybe it changes. I don't know, but I guess it's harder for you guys to say because you really haven't seen anything yet. But
yeah, I've been skipping every non-comic movie trailer so I can watch the movie. I don't trust studios anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like studios are just like, we need butts and seats, show the third act. And so I'm just skipping trailers unless I'm getting paid.
Especially from the standpoint that the reactions to the comic trailers do numbers for me. But like I did one for Eddie Abiri's new movie, and it didn't do anything. All right, sorry, Abiri. God, what's wrong with me? I'm having a stroke. But it just didn't do anything. So I agree with Coy. If I don't have to watch it for work, I try and avoid it because I just want to enjoy the movie.
Same. I mean, I wish that I never watched that second Sinners trailer. It gave away so much. I still love the movie. It's my favorite movie of the year so far. But like I think I would have liked it even a little bit more with not knowing what was coming. Because I remember there were a couple times I'm like, oh, well, that hasn't happened yet. And I know that happened, so that's a bummer. And that, I don't think that was a Coogler decision. I think it was a studio decision. So I agree. But that's the last of the Badlands stuff I'm going to watch. I only watched it because I knew that we were going to talk about it on a couple of different shows. And I was like, I'm curious to see, because again, I really like what Trachtenberg did. But as far as the article itself about paying attention to the lore, how do you not love that? How do you not love the fact that he wants to do that and he wants to do those things and he wants to take certain aspects from things that he's seen and make it like a big kind of a big canon and pay attention to that canon? How do you, if you're a fan of Predator, how do you not like that?
Yeah, I mean that's what you want. You want a creator that is going to is going to actively do something like that. So I love that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The main Predator news that I've been paying attention to, and we're keeping it full circle with this, Coy, I'm assuming you've been reading all these Predator v Marvel character stuff, and did you already read the first issue of Spider-Man? Because
Wait, what is it? So what is
Predator v Spider-Man.
They're doing a Predator versus individual Marvel character series. They did Wolverine already. They did, was it Panther?
Panther's my favorite so far.
It was Panther, Wolverine, because Panther is when we get his son between T'Challa and Storm. So he's out here with mutant powers, and he's the Panther, which is awesome. And then now,
and the Predators are looking for vibranium. That's like the ultimate weapon source. So all the reasons are dope.
Yeah, and so now it is Predator versus Spider-Man, and there's a Predator in New York acting like a serial killer, and they think it's just some regular serial killer, but no, Predator is loose in New York City.
Oh wow, that sounds good. Well, you got a lot of stuff to watch or read. You got Predator running around against Marvel characters, Spider-Man, everyone else. What do you think about the trailer, though? What do you think about the comments from Trashemberg? Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing? Do you think that the Predator looks good? Do you think it looks like shite? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. All right, we're going to get to the questions here today. And currently, 23. Not too bad. Still need around 60 to tie and 61 to win the week. So we'll see if the audience is going to push you there or not. We have some time here today to do just that. Before we do it, Winston, you were mentioning your channel before. What do you got going on in the channel, and where can they find it?
Absolutely. You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm going to essentially what's going on right now. I actually have a pretty big project happening where I am going to have to go slightly dark for a little bit outside of we're doing Spill the Tequila with Roca and then being here. Sorry, I just got some in my eye. I will explain more about that once I'm allowed to, but if you want to know why I decided to rock the 90s Dad Stash, it's because of that certain thing. So please keep an eye out. Check all that stuff out. I will put out announcements when stuff is dropping and all that. I appreciate the support. And yeah, go check out Coy's shit. Coy, tell them what you got, man.
Yesterday, Accountant 2 review went up. 2 days ago, I broke up all my Andors into individual videos. So episode 1 of Andor, 2 of Andor, 3 of Andor. Days before that, I did my Last of Us episode 2. Every week, I'm doing all my favorite comics live. I read about 50 a week. This is roughly half a week that I need to read. And then I give you my favorite 9 comics of that week every single week. This week, I'm going to be seeing Thunderbolts Monday, putting my review up on Tuesday, spoiler free. Wednesday, doing my comic coverage. Thursday, doing whatever show is out. And then Friday, spoiler review of Thunderbolts. And then Saturday, going back into the next cycle. So please, I'm almost at 50K. Join me.
Get them there. Yeah, speaking, it's funny. I did the same thing for Andor on when it was a Tuesday or whatever, Wednesday. I guess I thought that it was coming out on Wednesday for some reason. And so I missed it, but I put all episodes that I did, the reactions and stuff for 3 separate videos. I'm not doing that again this week. I'm going to make them one big video.
I'm going to give it one more week of trying because I didn't think ahead. I posted them at when the first episode ended, and I should have waited till the 3rd episode ended because no one's going to stop watching to watch thoughts.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm going to try one more time individual, and then if that doesn't work, I'm going to do them all as a chunk.
I'm just dropping it as a chunk because they play all of these episodes. I've seen the whole season. Have you?
No.
So they play like
movies.
Yeah, each one plays like movies. There's 4 arcs. There's arc 1, which we just watched, which was good, real good. It is my least favorite arc out of all of the 4.
Oh,
and it's real good, the first one.
Yeah.
I would go arc, and I said this before, arc 3 is my favorite arc. Arc 4 and 2 are tied, and then 1 is my least. And
I loved 1. That's high praise.
It's you didn't see nothing yet. It's the best Star Wars written, acted show and acted anything or produced anything since Empire Strikes Back, hands down.
I'm loving it so far. I'm enamored like with the world, but also like how it's letting it breathe philosophically, so you have time to think about stuff. Even with the binge model, it's still so. I actually like this release okay so far.
Yeah.
Man, I need to. I haven't started yet just because stuff going on, but I didn't finish the first season of Andor, so I need to do that first and come back.
Yeah, you have to. Speaking of The Accountant too, as Coy mentioned, check out Matt Serra's channel today. He had Gavin O'Connor on for a good hour and like 25 minutes or something. It's a really good conversation. They're like the two peas in the pod, those guys. Like they you can just tell they really get along well, and it's a great conversation. Gavin's a very open dude, talks a lot of cool stuff. Matt and him just have a really good rapport, so I highly recommend going over there. You can also check out chunks of that interview that will be up. We're going to put some clips out pretty soon of it, so check it out. All right, let's see if you guys can do it. Can you take out Roxy here today? Roxy looking to get another win. Last week it was you guys, but can you come back and do it again? We shall see. Mike and Steph had a good run yesterday, but they couldn't quite do it. Okay, let's get to the first one. And we got a new member, guys. We got Sohel Akhtar. So good time to become a new member. I'll tell you that. We just did a bunch of unedited reactions. I'm probably going to put I put Civil War up today. I put Thor up yesterday. Black Widow will be probably next. We just did the Black Widow movie, the reaction with Sam. So that'll be that unedited. Excuse me. The edited one is up, and the unedited will come soon. Nathan Drake, Kristian, did you catch Hot Mike last night? I thought Jeff made some good points about Sinners. He asked, why did this movie need to cost $90 million and is not doing well internationally either for some reason? Well, $90 million for a studio budget movie with that kind of cast today, like 10 years ago, $90 million is a lot of money. It's
nothing.
It's like kind of like akin to $50 million 10 years ago. You know, it's kind of like a smaller movie. I think the movie, look, if you would have said 80 million, okay. I think 90 was and I think he used every penny for the right way. So I don't know. As far as internationally, I think that's why when Winston was saying it's going to make hoping it's going to make a lot of money, as do I. I think internationally is going to hold it back. But
and once I went to see just how bad it's doing internationally, and bad is the wrong answer. But you know, obviously there's a couple of things. I mean, one, without getting into the grand scope of things, you already have China, which has been pulling back from American movies, and things have obviously escalated in the last couple of months. But so you have that. It is what it is, one way or the other. But the numbers it's doing here, and the numbers that I think it genuinely will continue to do for the next few weeks, it will be fine. Like I don't think anybody's worried about that. And I don't think it would have necessarily been the same movie if you had taken some stuff out. Cause like, that's what you would essentially had to do. Like Ryan is not known to be wasteful with his budgets. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious where it would have been taken away from.
Yeah. I didn't see all of Jeff's points, so I can't really respond to them. But as far as I kind of agree that internationally is, you know, it's not performing, but 90 million, I think it deserved 90 million. Robert, any advice on an easy way to read Zatanna's spells? I read Shakespeare for fun, and her spells break my brain.
Kristian, her spells are written in reverse. So all the letters are the other way. So I personally, I love trying to piece it together phonetically and just figure out what the words are. But you can also take a mirror and read.
Just a mirror. That's pretty much it. Or I mean, there are plenty of like riddles and puzzles that like train your brain to read backwards. So that's also another thing you could do. But like when I was watching Young Justice, I would put the subtitles on if I was trying to figure out what the spell was, and then just pause and go, oh, okay, that's what she's saying.
That's fun.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, essentially what Kristian just said right now, if you're trying to figure out that spell, was I'm motherfucking Batman.
I know. Here he goes. Robert, does Daredevil Cold Day in Hell remind everyone else of The Dark Knight Returns at all? And do you enjoy it so far? Is that a new comic?
Dude, it's so good. It's basically old man Matt, and it's Matt Murdock doesn't have powers. It's a dystopian nightmare of a world. It's like a broken New York, and it's very much Frank Miller's take on Dark Knight Returns, but it's also very Frank Miller Daredevil. It's fantastic, and yes, I am enjoying it.
Speaking of a broken New York, I don't know where I don't necessarily know if it's broken New York or wherever it is. Have you watched? Did you watch Havoc? Yeah,
dude, I loved it.
It was so crazy.
It was like New York and Chicago and Baltimore, just broken. The whole city feels like Gotham.
Yeah, it does. It's a new Tom Hardy movie that's coming with the director of The Raid. It's batshit crazy. This
2 hours.
For the only thing it's not even 2 hours. It's an hour and 40 minutes. So the whole reason you watch this movie is for the club scene and for the cabin scene. That's it. I mean, the rest of it's really good, but those two
Those are
scenes
like 20-minute action sequences.
This is a Netflix movie.
Yeah, dude, it's out today.
I'll add this right now.
Yeah, and my reaction to it should be dropping tomorrow.
It's like a white knuckle experience of Tom Hardy just losing it.
It's insane, but it's like the story, and the story behind is good. There's some questionable decisions by some of the characters, but that's not why you go to watch it.
Okay,
I enjoyed it. Robert, thank you, Robert. Wait, did we do that one? Oh, do you ever drop a comic book because you can't get over the art? Like, I don't care for the art in Absolute Martian Manhunter, for instance.
That is my favorite art in Absolute so far. That's so funny. That's literally of the Absolute imprint. That's my favorite art. I don't know, not to condone drugs.
Oh wow, that looks good. I like that.
Yeah, it ties into the story so directly. It's so psychedelic. Not to condone drugs on YouTube, but it might help your experience.
Perfect. Next one is Christopher Brickner. Revenge of the Sith box office this weekend. Wow. What was it?
They re-released it for like the 20.
How much did it do?
Let's see.
Box office mojo. Let's
3 million strong yesterday.
Oh, okay. So it made 3 million yesterday. So we'll see what it does this weekend in general. So we don't really have a number on it yet, but I bet you, because it was tracking at like a pretty big number.
People want re-releases. I think this is like the Spider-Mans did well. Like I think more movies in theaters.
Well, think about it. Think about like the Star Wars fans that have come that are like 20 years old now and they get a chance to see this in the theater. That maybe they want to go check it out and go see it in the theater. It's a smart play, and I think
seeing Superman 78 in the theater was so incredible. I like more of that.
Gopal, shout out to Corey for calling attention to the Magic Mind sleep formula. Been using it for a week. And with your code, it's great. I love hearing that. Yeah, if you don't use our Magic Mind thing when we're talking about it, I mean, they're not even on the show today, but we will rave about them. You're making a mistake. They're fantastic.
I literally have not slept this well since middle school. Like high school onward, I just don't sleep good. Magic Mind genuinely helps.
It's good.
Reggie Brown. I wouldn't mind Jamie Lawson from Sinners playing Storm. Which Jamie Lawson?
She was the one that Sammy was with, I believe.
Yes.
She was good.
She was good. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I just, again, my situation at the end of the day is I'm still trying to, like, at least she is of a darker skin tone. Storm is an Amazon, essentially. Like, I'm really looking for like just a tall drink of water. But,
right.
She played the mayor in the Batman.
Oh yeah.
The whole movie, I was like, who is this woman? And I was like, oh, wait, the mayor. It's a breath of fresh air.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Next one there. PLD Projects. I appreciate a good stash for Winston. Coy, you're next. If Coy shaves off the rest, yeah, it would work.
I look like a cop, though.
What? You look like
I look like a cop.
Oh, there
you would. Stick with your Oliver Queen.
Yeah,
that's fine. I'll run Gordon. You be Queen. That's fine.
Sean McCabe, Christian, Coy, Winston. Happy Friday, gentlemen. 1 week until Thunderbolts. Super stoked. Coy, congrats on the DC gig. Well deserved, brother. Did you get a new gig?
Yeah,
what happened?
So, dude, we're adapting the comics directly into radio plays. So everyone that's like, oh, why don't they movies just adapt the comics directly? We're doing it. And it's we just did year 1. We're doing the Long Halloween. You'll love the score, dude. Full composer. Every different villain gets their own singlet and it blends into the orchestra. And the sound design is like a million. Like it's an incredible piece, and it's 1-to-1 word for word.
Wait, and you're reading it out?
I'm hosting all the interviews.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sitting down with Jeff Loeb, who wrote the Long Halloween. I'm sitting down with the voice actor that did Batman. The first episode of my stuff started yesterday.
Oh, great.
And you can listen to it all on Spotify. You can watch it on YouTube. And dude, you'd like this because watching it on YouTube, it's the cinematic comic with the audio. And then you can grab your own. It's so special.
Dude, I think you probably, I don't know if you interviewed her yet, but my friend Reba Burr has been working on that. I believe she was Catwoman.
Dude, she's also the opening voice. I start talking right after her. She welcomes you into the show. So Reba is like the voice before me.
That's awesome, dude.
Okay, good. I gotta watch that. Vincent Zawada, happy birthday to Pacino. Hooah! Favorite movie of his. I have a lot, I mean, the easier the Godfather ones and Scarface and Devil's Advocate. Heat is one of my favorites too. He's got the most quotable lines.
Yeah.
And not just And not even just that. It's like when my favorite is when Tone Loc's talking to me. He goes, man, I get killed talking, telling you about this. He goes, you get killed walking your doggy. So good. He's like, who? What are you, fucking owl? It's so good.
He's just so unhinged, full Pacino, but young.
So great. I love it. So yeah, I would say, but I would also say Devil's Advocate is a good one too. Yeah. You got one, Winston?
I mean, I love him in Any Given Sunday.
Yeah. Scent of a Woman.
I haven't seen Scent.
Oh man.
Yeah, I haven't seen Scent, but Any Given Sunday is probably the one that sticks out the most off the top of my head.
Yeah. I'm in the dark here. You understand? I'm in the dark.
I mean, who doesn't love Scarface?
That wasn't Scarface.
No. I know that. I'm saying I heard you. I heard your impression. I'm just looking at his filmography now to try and remember.
The Sympathy of All Things is Sinners an allegory for Coogler and Marvel?
A little bit.
Think so?
A little bit. Just like as far as the dive of keeping your art, keeping it centered to yourself, and this idea also of it then kind of selling it out one way or the other. Like there was a lot of talk about kind of keeping stuff close to the chest, keeping stuff in the community, being like yourself. The main allegory for that is like Smoke and Stack when people are handing over like wooden nickels and stuff. Like, hey man, we only take real money. We only take this, that, and the other. And then deciding if they're going to talk to the white people, like all of that is kind of a lot of the push and pull for that somewhat. He talked about it in his open letter as well to the fans. So
Old Man Mike, Blade canceled. Why don't they? His internet went out. That's Mike Kalinowski.
He's got my AOL discs back.
I can't even tell you how many times it's absolutely hilarious. Oh, you know what? I'll actually play you the clip. Even when he's laughing, I have a clip that's pretty from yesterday's thing that is pretty good. You guys will get a kick out of it. Let me just find it. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay, watch this.
So like humans, every one of us are different.
Right.
We all have, distinct features, eyes and a nose and 2 ears and a mouth.
Right.
So there's going to be that, but stop, Steph. Just stop. You're usually my buddy. Just stop it.
I know.
Just stop, Steph. You're usually my sidekick. I can't do this. I'm your sidekick, but I'm not going to be your sidekick anymore.
Okay, I'm done. Okay.
What are you laughing at, Steph? What are you laughing at?
Look at those hands. You've got huge hands, kid.
No,
Look at those things.
Don't.
Yes, you do. Hold that hand up to your face, Steph. Hold that thing up to your face.
You
put it up to your face.
Pineapple loving motherfucker.
Oh
Steph, put that hand
God.
up to your face.
It's
Look at
my
those things.
nails.
Look at those things.
Okay, maybe you have small hands.
No, I've got normal hands. Look at it next to my face. Now look at your hand next to your face.
I have claws.
You're pound for pound
You
of
see
the
this?
nubs of your. What's
Yeah,
that?
pound for pound greatness. It's a tear rolling down my face because I was just offended.
Big-handed pineapple loving freak.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfectly proportioned. Thank you very much.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Poor Steph. How dare you, Mike?
How dare I?
Look at Mike. Look at Mike. Look at Mike.
I can't breathe.
Steph, put your hands up.
Can't breathe.
Put them up.
Steph, put your hands up.
So good. Oh, so great.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, so great. That's what we do here. The Sink Lord. Could Young Riggs beat Jet Li from Lethal 4 character? I don't know.
I think that'd be the fight because I think the implication was like, oh, he's above me obviously in the 4th one, but I always liked the idea of like that was like him facing his past like ability.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely was too old by the time he went up against him, but like he is, even though Lethal Weapon 4 is not the best, I still like it a lot, but it's not the best. He's one of the most devastating villains. And
dude, and he was so fast they had to slow him down because the cameras couldn't capture him.
It's hilarious. That was, yeah. I don't know. That was a tough one. Mark became a member. Hell yeah, man. Welcome back. Z-Rod, how are you going to tell Sam that RDJ is back as a villain? I'm not, because you know what I've been doing? I have been doing this new thing. If you watch like Black Widow, what I did it for Falcon and Winter Soldier. For things she knows, like I won't do this for Shang-Chi because she doesn't know it. For things she knows, I basically go, okay, you don't know what's coming here. I'm not going to tell you. I tell her nothing about what she's about to watch. So she comes in and she's like, the other day with Black Widow, she's like, she just knew she was watching a movie. She had no clue what she was watching. So when she saw Scarlett Johansson's name pop up on the screen, she went through that whole opening scene, not knowing who the characters were, just these two little girls and David Harbour. And then when she saw Scarlett Johansson, she lost her mind and she went, oh. So by the time that movie, when Doomsday comes out, I'm going to watch that with her when it comes out on digital, and I'm not going to tell her anything about it. I'm going to let her find out about Downey on the thing, unless she's watching the show right now, and then it's over. But she doesn't. She's working. Yeah. So there you go. All right, Christopher Brickner. Box office shows how much prequels meant to kids who saw it. Well, kids who saw the sequels feel the same. I think it's too early to tell, as things are different for the two trilogies. Yeah, I think it'll be. I don't know, man. I don't know if the new trilogy had the magic for it, because people were talking about the Star Wars prequels as kids for a bit. I don't think it captured the imagination the same way. I'm not at all. I think for sure, but I just don't think. I think especially when the prequels came out, they were really the only game in town. There was no Marvel. Right. There was not this. Marvel was in its prime when the new trilogy came out.
I also, like, I'll be honest with you. I was a massive nerd, but I wasn't jacked into like the internet and people talking about stuff the way I was. And we weren't like, as kids, we weren't shitting on the prequels. Like, they actually were very fun and good because of all the lightsaber battles and stuff like that. Versus now, the way people have gone in on the sequels, and understandably so for a number of reasons, it just reads a little different. So I don't know.
And it does carry over to kids, because I'll tell you, my 13-year-old, and I hate that this happens, but like I hate this. This was the most, a lot of conversations you have as a parent. I hated this conversation. This was a few years back. My daughter's like, Dad, is it wrong to like certain like Disney movies? And I was like, why? And she's like, because I saw something on this site that people that like Disney movies are bad and wrong and everything too. And I'm like, no, honey, you like what you like, and don't worry about what people are saying. And she's like, yeah, but there were bullying people for liking this Marvel movie or Star Wars, whatever it was. And should I not watch those movies? Crazy, and I'm like, dude. Horrible. She was like 11 years old. And I'm like, no, you watch movies that you don't watch, because kids are on the internet, unfortunately, and they see that kind of shit and that nonsense that starts to come in, and it's like, make your own opinion for it. You like it, you like it. You hate it, but watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember Disney, like when I was growing up and I was real little, there was like weird, like religious people in my family that were like, oh, there's magic, it's the devil stuff. And I was like, what the hell? And now I feel like that's coming back. And so like, I'm curious how that relates to the next wave of Disney. Not necessarily that specific, but that kind of like weird energy around it. But I think Star Wars will have a similar thing where it gets popular in a decade, but not to the same scale, because there is more like it now. Like, I think when prequels came out, there was less fantasy sci-fi just to scale, but now, you know, the sequels came out in this age of Marvel, so I think there'll be more nostalgia for early Marvel than there will be for sequel Star Wars.
That what you're talking about with people like, oh, it's the devil, you know, they've already been doing that about Sinners, right? Like, not a large contingent, but there's been a number of people. You see how they're trying to tell you to worship the devil. I was like, I kind of feel like it's the opposite when you considered, like, at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, don't spoil anything.
No, it's no spoiler, but at the beginning of the movie, you know, Sammy's preacher of a father was like, I told you not to be messing with the devil. Like, it actually feels like an exact opposite.
Right. Yeah, people are always looking for that kind of complaint. It's never true. Yoshimitsu, on a scale of Blade to Nosferatu, How scary / disturbing is Sinners? Nosferatu traumatized my girlfriend, and she only trusts Winston to know Sinners is safe since he scares her. You guys are the best. As opposed to Nosferatu, I mean, it's child's play as far, because there's some really disturbing scenes in Nosferatu for sure. Like at the beginning scene, and it plays way more horror. This is more on the side of Blade, I would say.
I would make the argument that the only is like the very beginning, because you're not really ready. There's flashbacks,
Yes.
and the flashback jump scares, and that's it. And then after that, the occasional but it's not. It's really not bad.
No, it's not. Ethan Ingram, what's up, guys? Sorry if you've covered this already, but you guys noticed the Spider-Man theme playing in the Daredevil finale? No,
I didn't clock that.
No. When was that?
Was it maybe when he said he needs an army?
Give us a time code.
Yeah, please.
Give us a time code on that. I'd like to go back and watch that. All right, guys, we got about, either 40 minutes or we're gonna have a short show here today. At 30, we have 34 questions so far.
Come on, go.
So right now it looks like Roxy might have it, but we'll see. All right, TX Rogue Driver, guys. I know we have the comics, but has DC or Marvel ever tried writing selling novels? I guess.
There are like novelizations of comics for sure. I don't generally read them because when I'm reading a novel, I'm trying to not only read comics. I haven't read any of but like Star Wars has novelizations. Marvel and DC do as well.
Okay. Next one here. Christopher Brickner. Kinberg is on a streak of bad film screenplays, and Ray Film has a first-time feature director. It's very possible the films are poorly reviewed. Well, Kinberg's not working on that one. You're just saying in general. Okay. It happens now. How bad would that be for Star Wars and Ray? Well, Kinberg's doing a separate trilogy altogether. He's not doing the one with Chinoy. But yeah, it would. But this is why the Ray movie is not coming out first. Remember, when it was announced, everyone thought that it would be The Mandalorian and Grogu, and then the Ray movie, and then they realized that's probably not the route to go. So they're going safe choice with Sean Levy because he just did a $1 billion movie with Deadpool. They're getting Ryan Gosling. It's the right choice. What they're doing, I will say, I know I haven't been complimentary to them lately, but this is the right choice for them to do after Mandalorian and Grogu. You're doing the Moana 2 plan with Mandalorian and Grogu, and that worked out for you. So you hope that works out again for this. And then the following year, you're going to do your Gosling movie. So you might have 2 hits on your hands leading into, you give yourself enough room for Kinberg. And I don't even think that'll be the next one after that. I think Mangle will be the third. So you could potentially go boom, 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 and be in a position, as Coy said before, where Star Wars could bounce back, that if you have a little bit of a setback with Ray or something at that point, today's judgment of the property will not be the same.
And those 3 are a hell of a trifecta if that works out that way.
Yes. If it works out, it's a good plan. It's a good plan. If they can actually make it happen, it's a good plan. Sam Thomas, the actor playing Green Arrow, is Harry Goodwin's.
News to me.
Didn't know that. Gopal. Garrett Dillahunt was great in the Saracana Chronicles and an arc on life with Damian Lewis and Sarah Shahai. Not enough people remember that show. I don't know that one, but I like Damian Lewis. There was a place, guys, my old, way before I knew you guys, but I used to live right by the Beverly Center. And there was a bar that used to be there called St. Nick's. And it was like our spot. We would go there all the time. And I'm assuming, Corey, you're a Band of Brothers guy?
Yeah.
So like Damian Lewis and all those guys were hanging, they hung out there all the time. Like at that bar, we would go in there. It was great. But yeah, Damian Lewis is great actor.
He's such a good actor. Yeah, I feel like he doesn't get enough love for how good he is when people bring up the greats.
So good. And he was so great in that movie. That's Band of Brothers that show. It was still my favorite miniseries of all time.
It definitely made me believe miniseries could be as good as my favorite movies. Like it's that good.
Easily. Dancing Dog 60. When did fans start rooting for box office results like it's sports? Certain fandoms act like they're making or losing money themselves. Thoughts? Well, it depends. It depends on for box office because they want their things to succeed, and that's what is the measure of the business itself. But I also think that one of the main things, like I give a pushback. Jeff Snyder, who we just talked about before, I give such a pushback. Like, why do you care about what the box office is? It doesn't affect you. Bullshit. It totally affects me.
1,000% affects you.
Yeah, because it affects me in the stuff that I like. If something really good, if they spend too much money on a property that we love, and you make a movie that should cost $60 million, and they spend $200 million on it, and then, but let's say you're a Black Adam fan. Let's say that you've just been waiting for Black Adam to come out. You've been waiting for it. It's like a movie that you didn't mind what they made, but it made $200 million, didn't make profit. They're never making it ever again. And now it's affects you because you're like, shit, I would have liked to seen the sequel. It was like one of my favorite things growing up, and now I'll never see it. And that's why it should affect you.
It also, it isn't just the property. If your favorite actor or director is involved in too many bombs, they don't get additional chances.
That's right.
So I want Sinners to go off because I want Ryan Coogler to keep making effing movies.
He will.
You know what I didn't get? The Nice Guys too. So I care about box office.
Right. 100%. That's why it counts. And it counts so much. And it's like, because people are overspending, or you could have gotten somebody, maybe you overspent on an actor because they were a name, and you spent too much money on them when you probably could have gotten somebody who was better for the role, and you blew your budget on that. You blew your budget on other stuff. And it of course it affects you. I never understood that argument from Snyder and other people. Like, I see people say it all the time in the comment section. Like, what are you talking about?
When people make that comment, as much as like all three of us, but Coy and I in particular are like, you know, I'm always rooting for artists. You have to remember the business side of this, and especially how capitalistic Hollywood has gotten, more so than it's been in the past. Yeah, so it's incredibly important.
Yes. Dancing Dog 60. When was the last movie you were excited about that turned out to be total ace? For me, it was Superman Returns. Total disappointment, boring. Last movie I was excited about, Joker 2. I was pumped for that movie.
I was on it.
It was the farts. It was the absolute farts.
I'm trying to think of the most recent disappointment. Like my biggest ever is X-Men 3. After X-Men 1 and 2, that's my biggest one.
Yeah, it was bad. But recently you didn't have anything that you were excited to see, and then you went
checking the tapes.
All right, you guys check the tapes, so I'll do the next one. Shelf presence, carrying Cross after Mania. Shoot was what he needed. Agreed. And I tell you, I've got to change. Koi, you would love carrying Cross, by the way. He's a wrestler that big jiu-jitsu guy, but he was following Matt Serra on Instagram, and Matt reached out to him to get him on the show. And he came in, he flew in to New York in the studio in Long Island to come into the studio to do it. They had a great conversation. He's just this dude. You can find videos on Instagram. He breaks bats with his legs, baseball bats, wooden baseball bats with his legs. But he's and he's a filmmaker. He's a filmmaker. He's an actor. I've become friendly with him. He's such a good guy, and he's a great dude on the mic. He had this promo that he cut afterwards where it's real. I gotta send it to you. You'll love it. And he goes off on how he's been underused in the WWE. It is. I'm gonna send it to you. You will love it. It's really, really good. He's great. I hope he gets a push.
I figured it out. Coming to America. When they decided to do that sequel, because especially when you added so many of the original cast and added incredible superstars, that movie
Craig
was not
Brewer,
good.
who's great, and had just done the Dolomite thing.
Dolomite was so good, and then
Dolomite was incredible. That sucked.
Love Craig Brewer.
Mine is either Megalopolis, which I was hoping would somehow turn out.
Oh, was it Poops?
Oh, dude, so bad. Or The Watchers, which was M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's first movie that I was really hoping to be good, and it was not.
Oh, that one wasn't the farts for me, but it just was like kind of.
I just wanted more, so those are the last two that were like.
Sure. Andrew Carnes, Sinner's score is up there with Interstellar for me. It's great. The music in that movie is a character.
Wait a minute.
So special.
Yes. I mean, well, Ludwig is. I think Ludwig and potentially Ruth are going to both win more Oscars after this.
I think that they'll be nominated. I think that there's still. I would love to see this movie nominated for an Oscar. I don't think there's a world where it happens, but I do think that there will be things from this movie that will be nominated.
The score will definitely get nominated, and obviously we have a lot of movies to watch before the year is out. But there is a high probability that Ludwig could pull it off again.
Yeah,
Ruth has a slight
sound design will get nominated for this movie.
Ruth, the costume designer Ruthie Carter, who is known for working with Ryan in both the previous Black Panthers and one for both of those, just has a hard hill to climb when you have 3 more superhero movies left. We have Wicked coming up again. She's got a large hill to climb there, but that's also a pretty high probability too.
All right, let's go next one. You guys are at 39. Need about 43 more to go. Dancing Dog 60. For me, it's hard to read certain indie comics because they look like they're drawn by 12-year-olds. At $7 to $12, I need a decent art in a book. Is that how much comic books are now? $7 to $12?
They're 4 to 5.
Okay. Remember back in the day, they were 75 cents.
When I started buying, they were 75 cents, and then it went up to $1, and I was like, okay, we can sustain this. And then
I remember too, like when I was buying my G.I. Joe Marvel comics, they were like 75 cents. I loved it. Still don't know why those haven't been adapted. Maybe because it's the Marvel thing. Yoshimitsu. Last year I saw The Crow, 1995. That's the farts, right? Oh no,
1995.
94 was 94. The Crow.
I thought it was 95. Let me look.
I'm gonna bet it's 94. The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Alien, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws, Jurassic Park with live orchestra in person. That's cool. And A New Hope on the big screen. Re-releases are awesome. Good, quick.
I was gonna say he had an incredible run of just living, because that's some of the best movies in my opinion of all time. Like those are some of the greats. Whenever I type The Crow, unfortunately the other one pops up. 1994. You were right.
Yeah, it was 95. Marcus M. Settle a debate amongst friends. Top 5 most popular superheroes of all time.
Batman, Spider-Man, probably Wolverine at this point. Superman.
You would put Wolverine over Superman right now?
Not in order. I didn't put them in order. I'm just listing them. Okay. And who would be the 5th? Maybe I guess you could make the argument Wonder Woman, but I don't know. Coy, what do you think?
Definitely Batman, Superman, Spider-Man,
Wolverine.
If Wolverine is definitely 4. I'm trying to think of like if the X-Men as an entity would be 5, or Hulk.
Would you put
Hulk?
Hulk maybe.
Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk's
like
big.
before the 90s, Hulk was like.
Hulk was huge with Ferrigno and all that stuff too. Especially it was
before this wave. I would say Hulk, but now with this wave,
you put
Deadpool's definitely up there.
Yeah.
I think with this wave now, you maybe throw in Iron Man, honestly, just because of the impression that Robert Downey Jr. has put.
100%.
But it 1,000% was not before this happened.
Absolutely.
I would say Wonder Woman or Iron Man is a modern 5.
Yes, good call. Winston, what do you think about Jack's trade up for Hunter? Great player, but so much to give up for a new GM head coach. Are you happy with the Cowboys and the Giants?
Yeah. So the Jack's trading up for Hunter, I think that's a big move, because you're trying to focus on the fact that you don't think Trevor Lawrence is very good, and you gave him all that money. So you go and get this star player that you could potentially genuinely play 2 ways, will bring good stuff. Travis Hunter was happy as hell. He don't have to live in Cleveland. He can go live in Florida. I'm happy with what the Cowboys did. We just lost Zach Martin, so replacing our guard is huge. Good on the Giants for both of their picks. I thought they were good picks. I'm just shocked that Shedeur Sand.
I think Jackson Dart's going to be any good.
I honestly think he will be. I think he will be. I'm just shocked that Shedeur genuinely fell to the first round. I cannot believe that happened, but
we'll see.
We'll see
how it works out. Eric Kirby, after seeing Falcon, just stay by and watch Abby K. Oh. I wish a certain redhead was in that world so you could. There's too much of that going on in there. Go Pal. Dog Day Afternoon is great. I had to give spoilers in that thing, man. Dog Day Afternoon is great. Pacino and Justice for All is not enough. People know besides this whole place is out of order. Yeah, you're out of order. This whole place is out of order. I'll tell you, Son of a Woman, that whole scene with him at the end, doing the courtroom scene is just the best. Jake, without spoiling anything, are there any writing moments in season 2 of Andor that match Luthen's monologue or Andy Serkis's one way out speech? Yes, 100%. There is an episode of this show that everyone will be discussing. Everyone will be talking about. Yeah, for sure. There's quite a few of them, but there's one in particular that everyone's going to be talking about. Joey Petrus, what was your favorite superhero video game as a kid? I love the Maximum Carnage Spider-Man game.
That was really good.
Love that game, dude.
You got one?
I mean, that one is probably my favorite of all time. I love the X-Men fighting games on arcade, like the Smash arcade, like those.
Well, like
X-Men,
Marvel vs. Capcom.
X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom was great. I mean, I had a soft spot for the Batman Forever video game that was on Sega Genesis. That was fun, but I think probably if it's specifically as a kid, then I guess that's probably what I would lean to. But if you're just talking maybe ever, it's a tie between the Arkham series and the Spider-Man series that just came out for PlayStation the last couple of years.
Spider-Man 1 is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories ever in any medium.
Yeah, there was a Superman game. I think it was. I don't know if it was Nintendo or if it was
N64.
Superman 64 is one of the worst video games of all time.
I don't know if that was it. Let's see, Superman.
The Wolverine side scroller on Genesis was also dope.
Oh, dude, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Holy crap. What am I doing? Those games are fantastic, as were the X-Men Legends games. What's wrong with me?
Let me see. I'm trying. No, it was. Let me see. I'm trying to think what game it was.
Oh, early. Did you ever play the Spider-Man Dimensions game and then Spider-Man?
Dude, those are great.
Oh my god! And then the one with time, it was like modern day Spidey, and then 2099, which then led to Dimensions. Yeah.
And the Spider-Man PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games are great too.
Here's the next one. Ethan Ingram. It plays when Matt says he needs an army. It's the MCU Spidey theme. It blends into. Oh, okay. This is for when.
That's what I thought it might be.
It's the MCU Spidey theme, and it blends into the Daredevil theme. The directors and composer confirmed it. Interesting. Okay,
that's a big implication.
Huge implication, but like especially when Sony is not too keen in posting these things together. So that's interesting. I gotta go back and listen to that. Mike Joyce, Winston, do you feel bad for Shador?
I do. I genuinely do. He'll be fine because I think on the one hand you have the idea of obviously who his father is and like. He's not hurting for money. There's nothing like that. But I do feel bad in the sense that it feels like there was this campaign to knock him down a peg. And I really hate that because all the kid is confident in himself. That's it. There's never been a time where he said he was better than anybody or anything else like that. He's just like, if you want to win, you pick me because I will lead you to like, that's the kind of confidence you want out of the leader of your team. So I hate what they're doing to him.
Mirjam, support for all you lovely gents. Thank you, Mirjam. Appreciate that. The next one here, and Mirjam follows it up and says, love The Last of Us and love Andor so far. So did you watch? I know you watched episode 2, Coy. Have you seen 3 yet?
Not yet.
Last of Us? Okay.
Dude, The Last of Us, Jesus Christ.
No, I just watched episode 3. Put that episode will be out on Sunday, obviously, too. But because all I'll say is, not spoiling anything too, is because everyone's going to tune in going, well, what do you do? What do you do next? Yeah. Dancing Dog 60 follow up. I'm thinking as to why people will root for a movie to fail. A certain fandom wanted Barbie to fail. Why? Why does it make their lives better? Because the internet is a place to just fart into a jar and hope everybody smells it.
Just crappy people. just that's because people don't want people to be happy and be fun, and the old adage of misery loves company. So you have the grifters on the one hand that want to make money off of people's misery because they know they can make a buck, and the other half is like, well, if I'm upset, I want you to be upset.
Yeah.
I'm 10 days clean. I'm only reading and responding to the comments that I get sent. I haven't read anything in 10 days and I'm lighter.
I told you. Mirjam, do you guys watch the new season of Black Mirror? No, but I've heard nothing but great things.
It is fantastic.
I've heard it
is so good. There's a spiritual sequel to San Junipero. The opening episode will make you want to strangle people because we were in late stage capitalism at this point and like talk about commodifying life. It's so good, man.
Okay, I want to check it out. Jake, back in 2013, while playing the OG Last of Us and 2 years removed from Force Awakens, never thought we'd be here watching Last of Us and Andor on the weekly. And I'm glad we are. We're in a good spot for TV right now. And I'm telling you, like even those people who just want the pew pew for Andor, and even those people should be satisfied with everything the way this whole thing wraps up. Anybody who says it's not Star Wars by the end of this is flat out wrong. They're just wrong. Just wrong. By the time you get to the end, it's just wrong. It's great. Last of Us so far has me locked in. Dancing Dogs. No shame losing to Roxy. She's a force of nature. Hey, it's not over yet. Don't count the guys.
Where Crystal? I need Crystal. Let Crystal come back, girl.
What are we at?
49.
All right, we're pushing.
Superman. Superman is number 1. Spider-Man is number 2. Batman is number 3. Wolverine and Hulk. If you're talking all time, it's hard to make an argument against that all time.
You
could argue Batman. You could argue Batman and Superman at the 1 and 2 spot.
I would argue it's either Batman or Spider-Man, and then Superman. Like almost Batman and Spider-Man kind of.
There's no world all time.
As far as just like straight popular, yes. Spider-Man a long time ago just really kind of climbed his way into that.
What was it? Spider-Man was the 60s, wasn't he? Superman was
Spider-Man invented in the 60s, and then he had TV shows, he had movies, but I still think Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
He ran the 40s, 50s, and most of the 60s, and then was still popular in the 80s. Got a huge pop in the 90s. The Death and Return of Superman, or the Death of Superman, is still the highest selling comic, I think.
Superman started the comic book movies,
and X-Men as an entity was bigger in the 90s than Wolverine.
Yeah. I could see the argument against Batman. There's no world I would ever concede to Spider-Man over Superman all time. Recently, sure, all time, no way. But as far as 1 and 2. Hard for me to argue Batman, Superman. You can make an argument for both, and it'd be hard to pick a winner. All right, next one. After that, Ryan S. Did you see the trailer for the Pee-wee doc on May 23rd? Looks great. Any thoughts on Pee-wee and Paul Rubens? You talk about another guy who just was all, 80s everywhere. Banana sandwich? Yeah, it was everywhere. And that movie with him and Tim Burton. I didn't hear. I know that the doc was coming out, but I didn't see the trailer. You guys?
No, I haven't seen anything about it.
Okay. I knew that there was one. I just haven't seen it. Connor Mullis, Corky and Wilson. There you go. Dancing Dog 60, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. I always say, fuck the world. Michael Merkel. Coy, UFC just announced Poirier versus Holloway 3 in July for Dustin's retirement fight. Thoughts? What other fights are you looking forward to? We're trying to get Aspinall on Sarah's show.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. I'm gonna give it. I think Justin might get it. Justin's strong, man. Like I could. Holloway's incredible. Holloway's one of my favorite fighters. Like blessed, but I do think Justin. Like I think he might go out on top. I think that's a good retirement fight. I still like Chandler, even though he's 5 loss streaks in. I still think he's one of the best. He's one of the most exciting fighters, even when he loses, because that dude goes in and just ends up burger. I'd love to see Gaethje come back in a real way. Yeah, those are like, and Hooker's been fighting great. Kristian, do you have anybody?
For me, for this fight, I don't know enough about the card or what's going on with it for this one, but I'm just like, I have been getting to watch, as I mentioned with Aspinall, because I've been watching more of his stuff and wondering if he's ever going to wind up fighting Jones. And I was just like, I told Matt, I was like, you got to reach. If I asked him, I said, how's your relationship? He's like, I got a relationship with him. So you got to reach out, try to get him on the show, because he just had Boss Rutan on the show, which was great. That was a great interview. Any
Jones fight or any Izzy fight, I'm always there for.
Yeah.
And if Connor, isn't president or whatever he's trying to do.
He's got to make sure he doesn't go to jail. Marcus M. The 2017 Power Rangers movie cast was great, but the movie bombed and we never got another one. 100%. It's true. And
great example.
So just really quick. Sorry, I hyper focus like an asshole. Just going back to just popular. I get that there's the idea of what pops in people's heads and whatnot, but even just looking at total amount that the media has brought in for those properties, Spider-Man is sitting at 26.8 billion and Superman is sitting around 7 billion.
And are you talking about inflation or are you talking about overall?
I mean, you can throw inflation too, but yeah, they're looking at merchandise sales, box office, home video games, all that stuff.
But put in inflation from the 1930s and see what that is. You can't compare 1930s dollar to 2002's dollar.
I mean, absolutely, I understand that. So
I'm
sure
look at that before you go into it. But Superman has more years on him. That for me, the money's not going to win that argument because of inflation. But Mr. Dave, 6 years since Endgame, crazy. That is crazy. It is crazy.
I looked at my Facebook memories this morning, and it was 7 years since I hosted Infinity War Red Carpet, and it blew my mind. Like it's so insane.
All right, couple left, guys. We're coming to the end here. Connor Mullis been struggling. A friend of mine took us. Oh man, I'm so sorry, Connor.
I'm sorry, man.
Very, very sorry to hear that.
Sending healing energy your way. I'm so sorry.
I'm very sorry to hear that. And again, as we always say, it's like, yeah, man, mental health is it's just something. always have to be aware of, and trying to talk to people. It's really, really important because, and this is for everybody. So I always notice too. It's like you just gotta. I wish Winston is very good at this. To be honest, he's always checking. How you doing? How's everything going in your life? Like always ask questions, man. Always ask questions. Not everybody's gonna tell you everything, but always ask questions. And I'm so sorry that you went through that, Connor. I'm very, very sorry. And love and prayers to your family. Carlton Rudder. London Calling. Kristian, I won't be able to make the Q&A later today, so just checking now. Just saw The Accountant 2, fantastic movie. Give me number 3. Well, I got news for you. I'm not going to make the Q&A later today either. A version of me will. The virtual will. I'm going to do a bunch of questions that kind of came in, and I'm going to record that, and PLD will be handling today. My daughter has her first softball game today, so I'll be going to that. And this is the last one for now. For now, Dancing Dogs, 60. What was the last movie you walked out on? Actually, there's 2 more left. Last one I walked out on?
I don't know if I've walked out in a movie in a long time.
It's been a long time. I mean, Ellis and I used to pick. We had an agreement that we were able to walk out of 1 movie a year. I can't. Year 1 was one that we both walked out on together.
I'm just stubborn, and I paid money, and especially because it's A-list at this particular point, I'll just take a nap. If I'm really feeling that type of way, I'll go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't remember walking out. It's been a long time.
A long time, yeah. Okay, let's see. Abernathy Rob. Battle Beast, number 1.
The Things from a Different World. This we had to figure out last time.
Things from Another World. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Is it good?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm not.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing that I've been watching and just randomly. I know you guys aren't super into anime and manga, but man, Solo Leveling, holy crap! Especially if either of you has any sort of like love for like video games or RPGs and stuff, that anime is fucking fantastic. Like, I can't speak higher on that. It is so good.
Dancing Dog 60, man, you were right about Trader Joe's Pizza. I'm telling you, it's a hidden gem.
It's pretty good.
The actual boxes that you put in the oven, like the big pizzas.
Yeah, you do it in the oven, not in the microwave. Incredible.
Yeah, no, you guys do it in the oven. I can't believe how good it is. It's like it's way better than like Domino's.
And you're on the East Coast where pizza's good. Like there's no excuse for West Coasters.
No. I don't really, like I said, we have one like sitting in the freezer. It's not our go-to, but someone asked the other day, what's a good frozen pizza? And Trader Joe's Pizza is great. Not even a sponsor. Abernathy Rock, Will You Be My Hero, Baby? What's that from? Do we know?
Isn't that a song? Will you kiss away the pain?
I can be your hero, baby.
Enrique Iglesias.
Oh, is that what it is?
Can I kiss away your pain?
Oh, yeah.
Connor Mullins, appreciate everything you do. You're all amazing. Again, Connor.
Thank you, Connor. Just again, sending love to you, man.
Yeah. And this is the last one for now.
Oh, right.
Huh?
The Battle Beast is. I was like, why do I know that character?
Oh,
Battle Beast is that like lion-like creature in Invincible. I didn't know they were doing a spinoff. That's great.
Well, there you go. Okay. So right now, 58 questions. And we are going to give a sign off. This has happened before. It happened yesterday. Look, oh, see, this is what happens. Abernathy also follows it up. It says, I'll buy you a copy and pay shipping.
Damn.
There you go.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to that shit. Damn.
But so what we do is yesterday, same thing. Steph and Mike were at, I don't know what it was. It was like 52 questions or something too. And we're about to sign off. And then out of nowhere, they hit 74. So we'll try to do the same thing here. And look at this. So Connor comes back in on a lighter note. Coy, I got my Hitman Omni a couple days ago. I love it. Garth Ennis rules.
Hell yeah, man. Omnibuses are a really fun way to read comics, especially if you can find them at like a used bookstore or your comic store has sales and stuff, because then you get so much lore in like one mega book. I love that.
All right, Winston, where can the good people find you? Give a final plug to your channel, please.
Absolutely. You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on Twitch and on YouTube. Like I was saying, I've got this awesome thing that I'm working on right now, so I will be a little bit dark for the time being. But until that comes back into full swing, on Tuesdays, you can see me with Roca. Spill the Tequila is a full official show now that'll be running weekly. So definitely check that out. You can obviously see me here. And then again, just follow me on social media. I'll let you guys know when I'm dropping stuff out, give you a heads up and all that stuff. I'll probably be streaming in some downtime with this big project as well.
Great.
Tuesdays, I got my Andor reactions over on my page, dropping individual episodes. Sundays, Last of Us, weekly comic book stuff, the news, the breakdowns, the comics themselves. And then also, I've got 2 shows over at DC. I've got one that is the DC Studios Showcase. The episode dropped today with me interviewing Skylar Gisondo, as well as Beck Bennett, who plays Lombard, and a really fun interview with Kat Grant, all in this episode. And then what dropped yesterday is my new show, DC High Volume Batman, which is a full 1-to-1 recreation of comic books as a radio play, and I'm interviewing the talent behind that. And you can find me on Real Rejects, and you can find me on Koicast, which is my podcast I do every other week that is available on all the places you stream your podcast. And on Monday, I'll be reporting for the Hollywood Reporter for the Thunderbolts, and so I'll be doing the red carpet for them. You can check out all my coverage at THR and some clips on my page, and then I'll be doing a review of Thunderbolts on my page, and then a spoiler review that weekend, and I need sleep.
Hey, real quick, I one shout out to 3 of you that just instantly followed me on Twitch. I have to keep OBS open while I'm running stuff, so I got the notification. Thank you so much on that. And I will also be doing Thunderbolt stuff. That's the one thing for sure that will be out next week on the channel.
Well, there you go. So make sure you follow Winston, follow Coy, check them out over there. Make sure you're commenting over here. As I said, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, everywhere podcasts are found. It helps us out tremendously when you subscribe to those. You got to absolutely get Stitch Fix. I'm telling you that. But the Clips channel, man, right now, go to the Clips channel and subscribe today. You will get all of these clips and more. But well, look at that. Sean McCabe. Connor, I've lost as many of my battle buddies to the demons as I did during the war. You're not alone. There are many of us here who will stand beside you. That's very, very kind to you, Sean. And I love when the community supports one another. So that's very nice of you to say. And what a note. What a note of positivity to end on. Again, thank you to Sean for that wonderful, what a way to do that. Class act. And thank you to everyone here joining us. Thank you to Coy and Winston for being here. You guys for a great week. I got some stuff going on tomorrow, obviously. You should have the Havoc reaction up. And then on Sunday, I'll have Last of Us up. And got a pretty busy week next week. Going to be doing the Final Destination movies with my friend Tina. So you should check that out as the new one is coming out. I had really never seen it before. So that's it. See you guys soon. See you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Mustard.